now let's cover the 4:30. A nice little tricky little handicap that again you like on these ones, Sandy. What horse do you want to talk about first? I know the one I like is the one you don't want to talk about, but what horse do you want to talk about?
We'll start with the top weight, Sergeant Pink. Since May, he's been raised £26 in the handicap. That is some effort. Last time at Uttoxeter beating a horse called Buck Mulligan, but Buck Mulligan should have won that day. He's just one of them horses that just doesn't want to go by. He almost needs to be treated with kid gloves.
And it steps up in trip as well.
It does, yeah. I would say that, he's won 5 of his last 14 races over fences. That's been a great servant to connections. I think probably tomorrow, even though it's in a 5-runner field, I think there's other horses there that are going to come.
Many for him.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think Levenstone 12 for a career high mark. He's going to be asking.
Billy's edging to get a view.
I just want to say to how well Diane Say has done with this horse. He's had 46 races, 17 this year, and yet his last 3 races were probably his best races. It's really
Can I just say, someone's got in my ear, did that donut actually go during the break? Yes, you did.
Yeah, my lips are nicely sugary right now.
Absolutely. There's one horse that you do like?
Yes, there is, and that's number 2, Harrowett, I think. He's an ex-Paul Nicholls horse. Used to be with Dire Waters, actually, the one.
This is not the time of year for Peter Barron, though, is it?
No, he had a runner today, actually, Ballyvazy, which, I think you ended up having to have a telescope to see him finish.
He's
today.
had a couple of bumper horses that have ran well.
No, July, August time is the time to catch him. This is not a time to catch him. If you look at the stats, 2 out of 32 runners in September, October. You can add another one today. I can't be with this one at all.
Well, he's a horse that's had problems with his shins in the past, and he goes best fresh, and he's had a gap of 251 days. He's actually entered on Saturday at Chepstow, and it's interesting that they're going to take up this option. He's a course and distance winner, and that was on heavy ground. The only problem I would say is he can be a bit guessy at his fences and would concern me slightly, but I think if you're going to catch this horse, it's best to catch him fresh.
There is one horse here that you definitely would catch fresh, and that is the bottom weight. But I mean, Billy, have you got a view?
Yeah, I actually agree with Sandy. I think Harrow's a good bet. It's 6-1 as we came on air, and the good point. He's going all the way to Carlisle. He's entered at Chepstow at the weekend, and they're not sending it there for a round. I
mean, I know the bottom one here is preferred at Kelso's got a terrific record, but Alder Gruger.
We got there
eventually.
Grugy.
I mean, this horse again for the last couple of seasons, when run fresh, is run about 11 to 2, 6-1. It's getting weight from the others. We've already talked about Sergeant Pink. Probably carrying a bit too much weight, going too much up in the weights. I know you didn't want to discuss it, but I really do think this has got a good chance.
He's an 11-year-old. I'd say he's quite exposed at this level. I mean, he's not going to be improving at this age.
He wants a sharp track. He's always wanted a sharp track. All his forms on
but
sharp
he was entered up for somewhere else. I think it was Hexham on Saturday. The connections have decided to come here. Okay, well, I'm going to... Any other thoughts?
I think we do have to talk about the favourite in the race. We have to talk about Lively Baron.
Yeah.
I think it's essential to him that he's on good ground. He won last year at Kelso off a mark of 122 on his reappearance. He has shown tendency to jump to his right. Carlisle's a right-handed track. That's important to him. He did fail to complete in his last 2 starts. Yeah. He pulled up, actually, in the Scottish Grand National. And I do think he's better suited to smaller fields, so he's of interest.
The selection from you, Sandy, in this 4:30?
I'm just going to stick with Harrowett. I think that he's best to catch him fresh, and if he's going to win this season, it's going to be tomorrow.
Sure. Billy?
Totally agree. Harrowett, 6-1, cracking price, get on.
Keep your money in your pocket.
Well, we could but I mean, I'll have a little... match bet with you that I think the bottom weight will finish ahead of Harriet tomorrow.
Well,
how about that?
They're both 11 to 2, 6-1. So
I don't think there's any value in Sergeant Pink or Lively Baron, to be fair with you. Right, let's move on. We move on to a lovely course, Newton Abbot, and a terrific race. Well, not necessarily a terrific race, but an interesting race because there's quite a few horses that have come from the National Hunt Flat, the bumpers. This is the 220. At Newton Abbot. This is the EBF National Hunt Novices Hurdle. There's 1 or 2 I like in this race. We actually agree. But should we talk about the one we agree on then?
Yeah, we might as well start with the Sky Farmer from the Hobbs Yard. Unfortunately, we don't have prices at this time of night. Obviously, if it's a novice race. So
he's probably going to be about 3-1.
No, I imagine it'd be shorter than that.
Shorter than that.
Well, when they hear what we've got to say about it, might shorten up.
He ran in a very hot bumper on debut at Ascot, and that was in February. I was actually there that day. And he was beaten by a horse called, I think it was Red Sherlock from the Pipe Yard, who is very well regarded. He actually looked the winner that day, and Red Sherlock battled back and just got him on the line. I've been impressed with the Sky Farmer. He since ran at Kempton, where he was slightly disappointing, but he finished behind a really other well-regarded horse called West Wizard, who's obviously going to be Another Die Waters horse that will probably be run around Fosslas this season.
Okay, Billy?
Yeah, I like the Sky Farmer. I think he's a stayer. We've got to go. We're going over 2 miles 3 now, jumping the hurdle. He'll be.
I think he'll jump a fence as well in time.
He'll jump a fence, absolutely. I mean, you've got speed horse like Man of Steel's probably more of a speed horse, but there's a bit of juice on the ground, hopefully, and I can't see the Sky Farmer.
The Sky Farmer won a point before he was bought by Hobbs in Ireland, so he's proven that he can jump fences. So.
Well, number 2 on the card, Boda Tabil. Yep. It's quite short in the betting. I mean, he's done a 103, a bit like Even If, who's bigger in the betting out the 2. I mean, I know this was first time out for John Joe O'Neill, and then it sort of petered away. I mean, what's your views on those 2?
Beau de Tabel won a bumper at Utoxeter, was very green that day, but still stayed on very strongly and actually quite impressed me. I'd be worried about the form of that race, though. I don't think it was particularly strong.
No winners have come from that race.
I would say that. With Even If, I think we've got to wait for this one to be in a handicap. I think it's going to be one of these John Joe horses that they wait, and he won on his debut at Bangor on very heavy ground and since disappointed with the penalty. I think he could be a horse maybe for the future. I can imagine him being one of them John Joe horses that just sort of shows a few indifferent runs and maybe be off a lower mark than he should be.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should mention? Obviously, best in bumpers, Man of Steel.
If I could ask Stanley, I mean, and this isn't a joke, but what a joke? I mean, he was 11-4 favourite last time around the course.
I think it'd be what a joke if it won, to be honest.
Yeah, he has to step up markedly on his bumper form, and to be involved here, I just can't see it.
Okay.
Sorry, Tom.
Okay. And any comments you'd like to make on anything else, Billy?
I was thinking with Even If, he wouldn't be the first horse to sort of win a heavy ground bumper, and it takes it out of the horse, winning a race like that.
Just quickly, we've got to touch on Man of Steel because he is second favourite. He won 3 of his 4 bumpers, and that is some going. To carry a double penalty to victory is very impressive. It's improved with every run.
Peter Bone was on fire in the summer.
Yes, and I know that, but it's still any horse to carry a double penalty in a bumper is very impressive.
Well, as I said, I look back on the Sky Farmer performance, and I thought it was a lovely performance. I actually think this is one of the best sort of bets of the day tomorrow. There's one, Paul Nicholls, I'll talk about later. But I was very impressed with Sky Farmer, and I think with the natural ability of improvement, I think this horse will take all the beating. But Billy, first of all, your views on this race?
Yeah, absolutely agree. The Sky Farmer, definitely.
Yeah, the Sky Farmer, I'm with you as well.
No,
Tom?
Not one for me to bet in either.